I'm going to stick with the PlayStation VR 2 for a couple of minutes because I finally got to play the sequel to one of my favorite games for the PlayStation VR 1. I'm talking about Firewall Ultra. And it's a mixed bag. What can I say? So I was very excited to get this game. I've been looking forward to it for quite a few years. The first game was phenomenal, and might I say, glitch and bug-free from the get-go. They put a lot of work into that game. Now, Firewall Ultra is out for the PlayStation VR 2. I do not get the feeling that they polished this game as much as they wanted to. Oh man, have we encountered so many glitches and some things that are just not quite right and seem to go backwards as to previous VR games, especially Firewall Zero Hour. That game, like I said, was finely polished, looked as beautiful as it could on the original PlayStation. Now that we have Firewall Ultra, I'm having a lot of fun with it, but there are some major oversights, some things that definitely should have been fixed before it was released. And seriously, one of the major issues that plagued the last game is present in this game. I'm talking about matchmaking. Now, Firewall Ultra is a 4 versus 4 multiplayer first-person shooter. If you ever played Counter-Strike, it's very similar to that. There's a laptop, one team guards the laptop while the other team attacks and tries to hack the laptop, and you have a certain amount of time. If the defending team lasts that amount of time, they win. If the attacking team destroys the other team and hacks the laptop, well, they win. It's a very simple premise. However, it takes 8 players to play. Now, when the original Firewall was released, Firewall Zero Hour on the PlayStation VR 1, it worked incredibly well to matchmake. You just went in, started the automatic matchmaking process, and within a minute you were paired with 7 other players, and you can go in and play to your heart's content. Now, things are a bit different. They did an update back in the day for the original one, and it seemed to break the matchmaking. All of a sudden, the only way that you could really play is if you sat in a lobby for 10 plus minutes, or you just befriended all the other Firewall players like I did, and then saw who was online, and hopefully you had 7 players that you could bring into a private match. That made it much, much easier. Now, seemingly we have the same issue. We get into the first match on Firewall Ultra, and we sit there and twiddle our thumbs. Seriously, couldn't find enough players for the longest time. Once we got enough players in the match, all of a sudden there's a 2-minute countdown. You can't bypass it. You can't do anything with it. So even though we'd already been sitting in the lobby for 5 plus minutes, we had to sit and twiddle our thumbs for another 2 minutes to wait for this countdown to count down to 0, even though nobody required that time for anything. A bit aggravating for the first play when you jump into a game. However, we got in and had some fun with it. There are some kooky things about this game, though, that are not right for a VR game, like opening doors. Why can't I grab a handle, turn it, and push a door open? That's not possible in this game. You have to walk up to a door, and even though you're holding a gun, let go of the gun with your left hand, and then it's the L1 button that you have to hold until it takes this meter up and the door opens. What? In a VR game? Are you kidding me? There are many things like this that you can't just grab random items in the world. You have to activate them by pressing a button and holding it until the objective is obtained, like hacking the laptop, for instance. Opening doors. Oh yeah, another one of my beefs, grenades. You cannot pull a grenade out and just throw it. In fact, you have to put your gun away to pull a grenade out. And then it's like they made this game for a flat screen and then ported it over to VR. You literally have to pull a trigger to pull the grenade back, and release the trigger to throw it. I'm serious. Now, we do have eye tracking, which is wonderful, because the eye tracking works for aiming your guns and aiming the grenades, which I will say is a vast improvement over the last game. In the original game, they did allow you to throw it with your hands, but it was an odd mechanic, and it would go flying across the room half the time, or just throw about a foot and land on the ground in front of you the other half of the time. Now with the eye tracking and this button press throw, if you want to throw your grenade, you pull the trigger, you look where you want to throw it, and then you release. It's as easy as that. Same thing with aiming your weapons. When you want to aim it up and fire at somebody, you simply look at the person, then pull the aim button, and the gun pulls up right to your sight and right where you're looking. That is a great improvement to any first-person shooter game, in my personal opinion. And one of the major things that definitely shine in this game versus all of the issues we had that really brought our fun level down. Like, I was playing and all of a sudden, the gun moved to my left hand. Now, I'm a right-handed player and just got into this game, so not too familiar with the controls, and it completely flips the controls left and right as well. So all of a sudden you're in a game and you're pretty much lost as to how anything works, and well, I died pretty much immediately. Then I was in another match shortly after that, possibly the very next match, and I was walking around and all of a sudden fell through the floor of the level. This is stuff that used to happen on the original PlayStation, not things that should be happening in 2023 with a brand new VR game. What is going on, you guys? Seriously, fell through the floor and just fell to my doom. And then because you only have one life in this game, that's it. Game's up. One of the cool features, however, is the ability to look through the CCTV cameras after your death and talk to your entire team at the same time. So all of a sudden, yes, you're dead, but you're not just sitting there waiting for the next match. Now you have the ability to flip through all the camera feeds and inform your team members where the opposing team is, where landmines are put, or anything else that you may see as you flip through those CCTV cameras. That's pretty cool as well. In all, Firewall Ultra is a lot of fun. They've made some massive improvements, and it's beautiful. I didn't talk about how beautiful this game was. Seriously, the graphics put into this are amazing. And from what I hear, they're only getting better because some people still aren't satisfied with it. I can understand there's a couple of levels that are a bit odd that have a high density of fog where I feel it doesn't need to be, and it really makes the level a lot harder than it should be. But in all, these levels are expertly designed, and yes, we get a few levels from the original game as well. Firewall Ultra is worth the money, but only barely, considering all of the glitches that it has currently at launch. Maybe give it a bit of time, they will upgrade the game and improve it. I'm hoping they upgrade the progress as well in order to update your character, your gun, get a new gun, or make any progress in the game. From the looks of it, you're going to have to play for many, 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 many hours. Unless progress really picks up, 15, 20 hours of gameplay just to earn your first new weapon? I'm really hoping that they fix that side of things as well. I definitely have some mixed views on Firewall Ultra. It's a fun game. It's worth the money. But expect some issues, expect some updates, and expect some glitches because they are gonna happen to you. Firewall Ultra is available right now for the PlayStation VR 2.